Hello and welcome to this week's edition of This Week at Endicott. I'm Matt Layton.
Hello everyone, I'm Brooke O'Leary, and here's what's happening this week.
Global Village will be taking place Wednesday, October 8th at 4 o'clock in the LSB lobby, and at 7, the Writing Center will be holding a senior thesis boot camp titled Finding Your Voice in Academic Writing, which will be held in the Writing Center located on the second floor of the library in room 206.
Also at 7, there will be a club and organizations registration informational session for student leaders in the Lower Callahan. And the Relay for Life Committee will be meeting in LSB 130, followed by Lighthouse Retreat information session at 8 in the Hospitality Suite in the Post Center.
Relay for Life Hope Garden bulb planting will be taking place at 11 in the library lawn. Then at 1, there will be a soft pretzel bar in the tutoring center located on the second floor of the library in room 202.
Bunnies, piglets, kittens, and puppies, yes, puppies, will be in the chapel Thursday at 5:30. Barn Babies Petting Zoo will be bringing over 40 baby animals, so stop by. And at 6, there will be transportation provided to the Topsfield Fair. Tickets can be purchased through student activities for $5 and includes the cost of transportation. At 7:30, Gullies will be holding a viewing of the Bruins season opener. Free appetizers will be provided. Then at 9, S'mores and Chill will take place around the amphitheater.
Let's check out what's happening in the world of weather with Jill Watch.
Hello, I'm Jill Watch, and you're watching ECTV's Weekday Weather Report. We can finally hang up our raincoats because Hurricane Joaquin has died down and left little to no damage to Beverly compared to our southern states. The level 4 hurricane hammered the Bahamas for 48 straight hours of rain and winds of 105 miles per hour. Joaquin traveled up the north-northeast coast, causing incredible damage to parts of South Carolina. Right now, people are still suffering from flash flooding, parked cars underwater, and homes and buildings destroyed. At least 7 were found dead along the East Coast, and multiple fatalities in the Bahamas, sources say, are due to this weekend's weather conditions. Cleanup for the flood will go underway immediately. New England got the tail end of the storm, which brought on and off rain showers this weekend and caused flooding on Route 9 in Framingham. Many students here at Endicott were asked by campus safety to move their car in hopes of avoiding danger in high-risk lots due to low elevation. Overall, there was minimal damage from the storm to North Shore as the coastal lines did not rise as high as was anticipated. Now for our 10-day weather forecast. This Wednesday, October 7th, the sun will be shining with temps as high as the 70s and low temps in the mid-40s. You may want to get out your winter jacket towards the afternoons because it will get chillier on the coastline as we get more into the fall season. Thursday, it will be sunny again, a little colder than Wednesday with temps in the 50s, dropping to the mid-40s by 4 p.m. Keep your rain boots out for the start of the weekend because this Friday, we are expecting thunderstorms starting at around noontime. The rain will stop by Saturday, but cloudy conditions are predicted as to be here to stay for this weekend, with temperatures in the high 60s, maybe dropping to the low 40s as the afternoon clouds start to roll in. For breaking national news, 28 Americans aboard a ship are lost at sea in the Hurricane Joaquin. A search is underway for the cargo ship, with boats and helicopters making their rounds looking for the boat. Debris has been found at the site of the ship's last position off the coast of the Bahamas, but it has not yet been confirmed that any of them were from El Fargo. Thanks for watching.
Make sure to show your School Spirit Friday, October 9th, wear blue and you might be entered to win free stuff when you head over to Callahan at noon. At 6:30, Northeast Arc Friday Night Happenings will be featuring Zumba Night and healthy snacks. Contact Student Affairs if you're interested in volunteering. At 9, Late Night Loca will be taking place in the Lower Callahan.
It was a busy week for sports. Matt and Jess have a look at what happened in the world of sports this past week.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of EC Sports. For ECTV, I'm Matt Pritchard.
And I'm Jess Carroll. The football team won an exciting homecoming game versus MIT. A late touchdown catch by Ryan Murphy led the Gulls to a 31-27 victory, William Rivera gave a great effort on the defensive side for the Gulls, earning him NEFC Defensive Rookie of the Week honors for his fourth time this season.
The men's soccer team continued their 8-game winning streak with wins versus Eastern Nazarene and Salem State. Their efforts were backed by CCC Offensive Player of the Week, Diego Slabowski, and goalkeeper Nick Weinstein, who set the school record for most single-season shutouts. The Gulls now hold the longest active shutout streak in the nation for any college team at 735 minutes. They look to continue this streak versus Curry Saturday the 10th.
The women's soccer team saw 2 big wins for this past week versus UMass Boston and Eastern Nazarene. They were backed by a great offensive effort from CCC Offensive Player of the Week, Paige Marinelli. The Gulls will look to continue their win streak Wednesday the 7th versus Eastern Connecticut State and Saturday the 10th at Curry.
The women's tennis team picked up 2 9-0 wins versus Gordon and Wentworth. The Gulls are now preparing for the CCC tournament that begins Thursday the 8th. The CCC recognized 6 Gulls, most notably freshman Haley Barnett, who was named CCC Player of the Year. Joining on the all-CCC team was Margot Andreasen, Riley Fitzgibbons, Jillian Fretter, Maxine Bergstein, and Mackenzie Rhodes.
The women's volleyball team played host to Roger Williams for their homecoming matchup. Despite a great effort from CCC Libero of the Week, Sydney Pierce, the Gulls fell short. They'll look to turn around the loss Wednesday the 7th at Tufts Friday and Saturday. Endicott will then host the Endicott Invitational, where they'll try to pick up wins versus Colby Sawyer, Moravian, and Babson.
The field hockey team picked up a pair of wins this past week versus Western New England and Gordon College. The Gulls had a strong showing from freshman Sofia Cogliano, who notched a game winner versus Gordon. This effort led her to earn CCC Rookie of the Week for her 2nd time this season. The Lady Gulls will be back in action Wednesday the 7th at home versus Bates, before hosting Salve Regina Saturday the 10th.
The men's golf team is preparing for the UNE Invitational Friday the 9th and the ECAC Championships on the 10th and the 11th.
That's all for this week. For ECTV, I'm Matt Pritchard.
And I'm Jess Carroll. See you next week.
Contact Student Affairs if you are interested in volunteering for the food project on Saturday, October 10th at 9:15. On Sunday, October 11th, the Buddy Walk and Family Festival will be held in Wakefield. Contact Laurie Rawls if you are interested in volunteering. Her email is located at the bottom of the screen.
This past weekend's weather wasn't the greatest, but that didn't dampen the spirits for homecoming and family weekend. There were so many events for family and alumni to take part in, including the dedication of the Hampstead Stadium and the brand new Raymond J. Bork Arena. I had the chance to speak with former Boston Bruin Ray Bork, who the rink is named after, and he said this arena will not only benefit the Endicott community, but the whole North Shore community as well. Last year, Endicott's president, Dr. Richard Wiley, approached Ray Bork and asked if the new Endicott Arena would be named after him. Bork was a Boston Bruin for 20 years and has been a longtime resident of the North Shore. After taking some time to think about having the rink named after him, he was on board.
It was very easy to say yes, and I knew that this was a special place. All the new facilities that they have, the fields and some of the buildings and this rink, obviously. So you could tell that, just talking to some of the kids and the faculty, and that the whole thing right here was a first-class operation.
Over homecoming and family weekend, Endicott held a formal dedication of the rink. Members of the Endicott community, as well as members of the North Shore community, showed up in support of Bork. He said he was overwhelmed by the number of people who showed up.
People that were here, the place was kind of packed, so I was a little surprised to see that in some ways. But just the whole ceremony, I think, was a great one.
Not only did members of the Endicott community and North Shore community showed up, current and former members of the Boston Bruins showed up to see the Bruins legend receive such an honor.
I was really surprised to see some of the Bruins current guys, and I knew some of my ex-teammates would be here, but to see Harry Senden and some of the Bruins here was really nice.
Overall, Bork is happy with the outcome of the rink and happy to have his name attached to it.
It's a beautiful rink. Turned out really nice.
Bork said he can't wait to see both the men's and women's teams take the ice and hopes he can come back and catch a game or two.
Now let's go over to Shake My Head with Molly and Simone.
Hello, and welcome to this week's segment of Shake My Head News. I'm Molly.
And I'm Simone. A 24-year-old man from Cambria, Wisconsin was attacked Friday night. The victim tells police that his attacker was a hippopotamus. After investigation, the police found that his attacker was not a hippo, but another man. During the fight, the victim was knocked unconscious, leaving him a few less teeth and a cut on his head. Despite finding evidence confirming the attacker was a man, the victim still refuses to believe that he was attacked by anything less than a hippo.
In Youngstown, Ohio, police got a call from a man who complained he'd gotten too high from smoking marijuana. Police found the 22-year-old man curled up on the floor in the fetal position, covered in Doritos, goldfish, and Chips Ahoy cookies. The man told officers that he needed help eating his snacks because his hands were too numb to feed himself. The man refused medical treatment and so far has not been charged with any crimes.
This past weekend, a man in Apple Valley, California was arrested after robbing an auto parts store. Investigators were able to identify the man despite his interesting disguise of strategically placing a maxi pad over his eyes. The suspect stole several battery chargers and flashlights before fleeing the scene. Witnesses referred to the robber as the maxi pad bandit. The maxi pad was recovered and taken as evidence.
A man trying to flee Peru was found hidden inside of a suitcase by airport security and a sniffer dog. The man carrying the suitcase was Jorge Chavez, a friend of the mystery man in the suitcase. When Suitcase Man realized his attempt to leave the country had failed, he stepped out of the suitcase and began to play with the sniffer dog as if nothing had happened. Both Chavez and his friend were arrested, and the man in the suitcase's identity has not been yet revealed. That's it for Shake My Head News. Back to you, Matt and Brooke.
Hocus Pocus will be shown Monday at 8 p.m. around the amphitheater. Make sure to stop by and check it out.
Our Melly Massey sits down with the Lighthouse Leadership Society and talks about what they do on campus.
Hi guys, I'm Molly Massey and I'm here with Justin, Bailey, and Morgan from Lighthouse Leadership Society. How are you guys today?
Good,
Good, how are you?
So, Justin and Bailey, you guys are on the retreat. You guys are facilitators.
Yes.
And then you're on the executive board for the club.
Yes.
So could you guys just tell me the difference between the two?
Would you like to start with the club or the retreat?
Sure, let's just start with the club.
Okay, so the club meets every other Wednesday at 8 p.m. in the chapel, and since we're the Lighthouse Leadership Society, each week that we have a meeting, we have a different theme. So like 1 week we had communication, so it's talking about all different like communication and open-mindedness, but in the context of leadership. So we usually all gather around to have an introduction, and then we have like a hands-on activity that demonstrates that quality from that week about leadership, and then we usually just discuss it after and like how we felt about the activity and how you can bring it into your everyday life at Endicott and becoming a leader on campus.
Yeah, and so then the retreat is similar to the club in that our main focuses are self-awareness, reflection, and activism. Those are the main things that we focus on. And it's just a little more intense than the club. It's a 3-day thing, so it goes from a Friday to a Sunday, and we go off of campus. We don't really tell people ahead of time where we go.
That's the last weekend before Thanksgiving break, correct? The 14th.
Yeah, it's in November. It's the 13th, 14th, and 15th, I think.
Yep.
And yeah.
Yeah, so a little bit more about Lighthouse. So the 7th of October, which will be Wednesday tomorrow, there will be an info session for anyone to come who basically just wants to learn more about Lighthouse. We'll be hosting small events, little like icebreaker type things, getting to know people. So you'll meet other people who are interested in going on the trip. You'll find a little bit more about it and see if it can work for you. I think it's important that people, if they are interested, they go to this because it'll help them give them a better understanding of what they're about to experience. So yeah, other questions that you might have about what Lighthouse is?
So if someone wants to join Lighthouse, like they've never been, like how do they go about it? Do they just show up to the meeting? Or?
Yeah, if you want to join our club, you can just show up to the meeting when we have one. And we try to like tweet it or put it on our Facebook page so that people know which weeks, because it is alternating weeks. But yeah, everyone's welcome, so you can just show up and you'll be welcomed by all of our returning members. And so that's really all you have to do to join the club is just show up.
Hey, sorry.
The retreat is a little different, unfortunately, where you can only bring 40 people on the retreat, and so that's through an application process. the applications are anonymous, which is one of the awesome things about it, because that way the facilitators don't know who the applications are, and so we're really just reading it based on what that person wrote, not whether we know them or if they're our friend. And those will be coming out tomorrow at the info session is the first day that they're available, and then they'll be around campus. They'll be out for a week, and then they're due on the 16th.
So if someone wanted to fill an application for the retreat, do they have to be an active member of Lighthouse, or could it be anybody?
No, anyone can apply for Lighthouse. So half of the people will be active members and half of them won't. But I think if you're going to fill out an application, it's definitely going to help you to try and get involved in some small way before, if you can. So at least the info session, or possibly going to a club and just kind of having an understanding of a little bit more about what we do.
And we also understand like the retreat isn't for everyone. Not everyone wants to go away for a weekend and get really in depth into the self-awareness and reflection aspect of Lighthouse, which is okay too. You don't have to apply for the retreat if you go to the club, and like you don't have to feel obligated to go on the retreat. It's really, the club is for anyone on campus who just wants to get involved, and the retreat is just, like Bailey said, more in depth if that's what you're thinking is the path that you should take.
Yeah, and I think the club also opens a lot of doors for people too, because there are so many other people going to this club. Just the other week we had 70 people show up, right? And a lot of times when people are there, it'll just be make announcements like say, hey, I'm doing this week, or there's this event coming up this week. So it's a good way of just getting yourself involved on this campus, meeting people, and just finding out about things that are going on campus.
Nice. So do you guys have anything else you want to add?
I don't just apply and get involved more,
come
whether
to
it's
the
the
meetings.
retreat.
Yeah, we
meetings.
really hope people will apply and come to the club. It's a great thing to get involved in.
Great. Well, thank you guys for coming.
Thank you for
And
having us.
back at the desk.
Thank you for watching. That does it for this week. I'm Matt Layton.
And I'm Brooke O'Leary. We will see you next time.